On October 7, 2023, the world watched in shock as Hamas launched a surprise attack against Israel. This meticulously planned operation, unprecedented in its scale and audacity, shattered years of tense stability. The Israeli military, renowned for its might, found itself initially overwhelmed by the coordinated assault. Hamas fighters stormed into Israeli territory, taking hostages and inflicting significant casualties. The Israeli response was swift and fierce. A declaration of war followed, accompanied by a massive military campaign aimed at crushing Hamas and restoring Israeli control. The ensuing conflict brought death and destruction on a massive scale, particularly in the densely populated Gaza Strip. As bombs rained down and ground troops clashed, the world held its breath, fearing a wider conflagration. The fighting raged on for weeks, with neither side seemingly capable of delivering a decisive blow. International pressure mounted for a ceasefire, but those calls initially fell on deaf ears. The conflict exacted a heavy toll on both sides, deepening the cycle of hatred and violence. The world watched helplessly as two peoples, locked in a seemingly intractable conflict, grappled with the devastating consequences of war. After months of brutal conflict, a ceasefire agreement was finally reached on January 19, 2025. This agreement, brokered by Egypt with the support of international actors, brought a fragile peace to the region. As part of the deal, a prisoner exchange was negotiated, with Hamas securing the release of a significant number of Palestinian prisoners held in Israeli jails. The images of the prisoner exchange sent shockwaves throughout Israel and beyond. Hamas, far from being the defeated force Israel had portrayed them to be, orchestrated a public display of strength. Their fighters, many battle-hardened and carrying captured Israeli weapons, stood shoulder to shoulder with the released prisoners. This spectacle of defiance, broadcast across the globe, challenged the Israeli narrative of victory. For Hamas and their supporters, it was a moment of triumph, a testament to their resilience against a vastly superior military force. It underlined a stark reality. Hamas, despite suffering heavy losses, had not been defeated. They had survived and, in the eyes of many, emerged from the conflict emboldened. Israel, for its part, grappled with the aftermath of the conflict. The government faced a wave of criticism, both internally and internationally, over its handling of the war and the terms of the ceasefire agreement. Many Israelis felt that their government had not gone far enough in crushing Hamas, questioning the price paid for what they saw as a tenuous truce. Figures within the Israeli government reflected this discontent. Former National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir characterized the prisoner exchange as horrifying, a stark symbol of complete failure. He criticized the government's decision to enter into negotiations with Hamas, advocating for a more forceful approach. Other prominent voices, including Moshe Feiglin, leader of the Zehut Party, echoed these sentiments, arguing that the images emanating from Gaza painted a clear picture. Israel had been defeated by Hamas. Despite the heavy losses inflicted by the Israeli military, Hamas remained defiant. The group's leadership, while acknowledging the sacrifices made, emphasized their unwavering commitment to the Palestinian cause. They vowed to continue their fight against Israeli occupation, framing the conflict not as a loss but as another chapter in their struggle for liberation. The resilience of Hamas, their ability to withstand overwhelming military force and emerge from the ashes, served as a potent symbol of Palestinian resistance. The 2023 conflict and its aftermath reverberated far beyond the borders of Israel and Palestine. The images of destruction in Gaza, the heavy civilian casualties, and the seemingly intractable nature of the conflict fueled a global debate about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. International organizations and human rights groups raised concerns about potential war crimes committed by both sides, calling for independent investigations. The conflict also exposed and exacerbated existing fault lines in the Middle East and beyond. Some Arab states, which had recently moved towards normalizing relations with Israel, faced internal pressure to reconsider their ties in light of the violence in Gaza. The conflict served as a stark reminder of the unresolved Palestinian issue, complicating efforts to foster closer regional cooperation. Moreover, the conflict appeared to contribute to a shifting geopolitical landscape. There was a notable increase in global sympathy for the Palestinian cause, particularly among younger generations. This shift in public opinion placed pressure on Western governments to re-evaluate their policies toward Israel and Palestine, potentially leading to a more balanced approach. The 2023 conflict, while devastating in its immediate impact, may have inadvertently sown the seeds for a more just and lasting peace in the long run.